Hey guys, I'm going to do a follow-up to a video I did the other day about mostly about pausing at the cue ball and what I can do with that extra second or two that I have. And I talked about things like make sure there's nothing physically wrong with me, like my foot is twisted weirdly, or maybe I notice I'm out of alignment. Talked about some things I can't do anything about, loud music in a bar or something like that. Uh, Things like that, just kind of just have to acknowledge them. And then by acknowledging them, then my brain can go back to putting the shot in. If I notice my foot is twisted, should stand up and redo it and come back down again, and hopefully it won't be twisted anymore. But I can use that time up here, and I was kind of like, this is my last chance to look for anything weird that's happening. And if there's nothing weird that I need to do something about, then I can go ahead and shoot the shot. With that particular style of mine, and I have a bunch, that was all completely true. But I do have some styles that have a longer pause at the end of the backswing. And I'm going to talk about those in a second. But just to finish the first part, one of the things I didn't really cover were some internal things that I can't do anything about. I talked about external things, loud music, for example, that I can't do anything about. I just have to acknowledge it. There are also some internal things where I can't just get up and come in again. If I have a shot like this is a stretch for me. And when I first bend over, that absolutely counts as something weird. But there's nothing I can do about it. But in this 2 or 3 seconds that I'm here pausing, can kind of get used to it. Where it doesn't seem as weird now to me as it did when I first bent down. And that's the best I can do in that particular situation. I want to make sure that I got that out there. As I said, I also sometimes will pause at the end of my backswing. Not as often, and only with a few of the physical styles that I use. I don't know if any of this is going to show up like in the camera view. I've watched some footage trying to compare, and I don't see a lot of difference. After I watch this video, I'll try again to see if there's a visual difference. But there is a difference. To me, I can feel the difference. The way I was shooting the other day, pretty much no tension, and a very, very brief pause back here, if even that, a tenth of a second maybe. Another style that I have that I go back to a lot, well, I call it derby style, and it's just my name, and I call it derby style because it showed up for me Derby City Classic 2020 in the bank pool, and it had a really good bank pool tournament that year with this style that just showed up out of the blue. It was very similar to what I just did, but I can feel a difference. And the difference is it is a more controlled, slightly slower final backswing, and I'm coming back just a little bit further, a half an inch or an inch further maybe. So that looks like that. I hope on the camera you can see there was a pause at the end of my backswing. Maybe you can see that it was a little bit slower. I guess you have to take my word for it that it was a little bit more controlled. And it was a little bit longer. Not much, but enough. And the thing that I found about that is it seems to be that extra length, that extra control that allows me to have a pause back here. And the first way that I shot it, I'm not going to say it's uncontrolled. It's just everything's a little bit faster, a little bit shorter. And I just come down and shoot. If I try to shoot like that and just insert a pause back here, that's when I was talking about in my last video. I'm going to get disconnected from all of my practice strokes and everything that I've already done. I'm going to get disconnected at that point. So I can't do that with that style. But with a style like this derby style, I called it, I absolutely can. I can come back more slowly, more deliberately, maybe a little bit further, and I feel like I could pause for an hour. I probably shouldn't pause for an hour because that would annoy some opponents, and if I ever played anything with a shot clock, it might violate the shot clock rules. But I can do that, and it feels completely fine to get that pause. Okay, fine, Dave. Now I've got another second or two, maybe, of a pause. What do I do with that time? Make every moment count, they say. So I talked about pausing at the cue ball. I can look for weirdness. Something physical, some kind of, external distraction, internal weirdness where I'm stretched out, that type of thing. Back here, my final backswing, there's not as much for me to be looking at. If I get all the way back here, and then I notice my left foot is twisted or whatever, that's my own damn fault. Because I should have fixed that when I was positive here at the beginning. I should have already fixed it. If there's loud music, I should have already acknowledged and therefore hopefully ignored that. If I was stretched out, like an example with the 5, I should have already gotten to the point where I was used to that. Just about the only thing I can think of that I can do with the time when I'm paused at the end of my backswing, at the end of my final backswing, right here, is I can make sure that nothing new just happened. Pretty naked girl didn't just walk across my line of vision. My mind is ready to shoot. I didn't get distracted by anything at all. I guess my mind is clear and ready to shoot. And that's about all I can do. I don't want to try to use this time back here to be looking for weird stuff, like my body position or whatever, because I really should have already taken care of all that. And when I'm back here, I'm already in tension because I'm back here. So my body's not going to feel completely normal and relaxed because it's not, because I'm in tension. So about all I can do with that is just go, okay, last chance, Dave. Are you mentally prepared to shoot? And if I am, then I can go ahead and shoot. Another thing I think this little bit of an extra backswing allows me to shoot forward at firmer speed than a little bit shorter backswing allows me. And I haven't dug into that too much. I shoot a lot of my bank shots at firmer speeds than a lot of people. I shoot my bank shots kind of like the old-time bankers shot a lot of stuff at firm speed. The newer breed of bankers don't always do that. And I think that may be helping. It may be why this particular style has always worked so well for me for banks. But I can always have a pause up here. Make sure there's nothing weird. And then sometimes I can pull back and stroke the ball. Again, it's not a long pause. It's long enough for me to make sure nothing happened in that 2 seconds it took me to draw back. Nothing new happened that I have to worry about. My mind is clear and all that. And it's working. I'm not going to say, from now on, I'm pausing at the end of my backswing. I'm not going to say that. That's the kind of thing I've said to myself a lot over the years is, this is a new way to shoot, secret of pool, that type of stuff. I have a million different styles. Some of them do not have that pause at the end of the backswing. And if they don't, then I need to make sure my mind is clear when I'm still up at the cue ball. And then everything's quicker. If I'm going to do something slower, more deliberate, more controlled, maybe a little bit further, I've got a couple extra seconds that something could have happened, mainly to my brain. And I could make sure that That's not going to affect the shot and put the shot in. This is the goal that I'm doing with the styles that have a pause at the end of my final backstroke. This just like always. Everything is just me that I'm talking about here. But we all play pool, and you guys make it, hey, let me try this pause. Let me try not just pausing for the hell of it. Let me try making sure, make use of that time. Make sure there's nothing weird happening. Make sure my mind is clear, that type of thing. It can be helpful, or I wouldn't be putting it out here. You're not a weirdo if you don't pause at the cue ball. You're not a weirdo if you don't pause at the end of your backswing. Everybody is different. And we all have different wants and needs and all that when we play. Different things that we need to do or want to do. Anyway, I'm starting to ramble, but thanks, guys. Hey, if you're still watching and haven't fallen asleep yet, you get just a little bit of bonus content. I don't want to make the whole video, but I did think of something else. I mentioned before that my eyes kind of flat back and forth. Forward stroke is on the cue ball. Backstroke is object ball. Forward stroke, cue ball, backstroke, object ball. And then on my entire final stroke, it's on the object ball. And I say object ball, I really mean the target, the spot on the object ball, the spot on the cloth, the center of the ghost ball, whatever is my target. My entire final forward stroke is that, or my entire final stroke, back and forth, is that. If I have a pause at the end of my backswing, that extra second, 2 seconds, whatever it is, they have a pause back there. Then the very last thing I do, after I guess I clear my mind to make sure nothing new happened, is focus on that target. I'm back here. The very next thing I'm going to do is go forward and hit the cue ball. So make sure that I'm focused. I may already be focused, but I may not be. Make sure that I am focused on the target and go forward. That's your bonus content.